this too. I kind of got everything on I was in South Carolina. Immediately was congested.
Playing the Spanish for the Spanish moss. It's everywhere. Even South Carolina, it's everywhere.
Call up the mayor of Spain. There we go.
You're not.
Perfect. All right, let's call the meeting to order. Tuesday, April 7th, police meeting. Do a roll call. Dedick. Here. Miller. Here. Craig. Here. Any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Look to get a motion for approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion. Sport.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, items of business, chief's report.
All right, so for the month of March, there was 21 reports. When you go down the list there, when you see the weapons violation, that is for the March 4th incident, reference to the unlawful discharge of a weapon within the city. That also resulted in that, also known as the barricaded gunman. He is still currently lodged at the Shiawassee County Jail. The other, as you go down the list there, you'll notice that there's a list for a felonious assault. That felonious assault took place 3 years ago and did not become aware of it until a prior letter or a complaint arrived at the police department. So that is a 3-year-old case. That also involves the same individual from the March 4th incident. So depending on what happens with his competency hearing, determines what will happen with that report. So that is still out there. Nothing, kind of the same old reports for the month. There were 26 traffic stops, 17 tickets issued. Of course, number one is speed. On the next one, 9 traffic warnings, 5 were speed. Oh, there are a few miscellaneous ones there. 1 ordinance violation warning for furniture in the front yard. They kind of took care of that, so I don't know if they think the city's gonna pick it up or what, but finally have to give them a notice, because otherwise, if I don't give them a notice, it's still sitting out there, so.
They have it taken care of it though, you said?
They have taken care of it, so
Since the warning.
I think next time we have our flyer go out for the sewer bills, we will tell them the city does not pick up your furniture. So I think a few years ago when we had that program, that has continued to be a continual problem. Thinking that the city is gonna pick it up.
That's good to know.
So
Okay.
we'll take care of that. All right, so under additional information, there's a yearly LASSO, which is local agency security officer training that I have to complete for the police department. So that's been done. We attended a community policing event up at Langsburg High School. They had a half a day, so that during that half day, everybody at the high school went through a first aid course and a CPR course. So that was all the high school students. The FBI and along with the state police have come up with a mandatory 8 new policies for all police agencies in Michigan. So I've got about half of those done and working on the other half, because those have to be in place when the state comes and does their audit. So I'm hoping that my audit's not till next year, because they're in different zones throughout the state. So when they do an audit, they would do like all the Shiawassee County at one time. So it involves all the police agencies along with the sheriff's department, and it's all criminal justice information related. So a lot of that also has to do with our IT company. So a lot of those policies go to our IT, because again, a lot of it's dealing with the cyber stuff. So which I am no wizard. Car 17 received some minor damage. officer was backing out of a driveway and in doing so, backed into a tree. So, of course, with being a police vehicle, the tail light was broken and you can't just get a tail light lens. You have to get the whole unit, and that alone was $650. And there was about a baseball sized dent, so right now we're looking at about $3,500 in damage, so. It looks like I'm probably just gonna take it out of my budget versus sending it to the insurance company. Just because I do have it in my budget to cover that, and then it doesn't ding us on our insurance policy. So I'll probably do it that way. I think previously I had told you, maybe I hadn't, that the police department had received a check from a lady living out at Scenic Lakes. And this year I received a check for $3,000
Wow.
to put towards anything that the police department would like. So it was sent to the police department attention, Chief Dan Court, for $3,000. So one of those items that I'm looking at to purchase is a new handheld radar unit. And so looking at the different radar units, one comes in at a price of $1,099. And the other one comes in at $1,645. So looking at the two different radar units, I'm liking the cheaper one, what it looks like, and handles. So I'm probably gonna go forward with that if it's okay with you guys, since I received that money for that, so.
Doesn't seem like that requires a motion at all, right? I mean, this.
So
within your
I just want to
budget
let you know
area.
that, hey, we got this money and this is what I was gonna spend it on.
Do you have one right now, or? Is it-
Yeah, but it's an older model.
Sure.
And it has an audio that you're supposed to have on it, and the audio is kind of hard to hear that, or I'm getting harder to hear, but so we're gonna get a new radar unit gun, so.
What's the difference in the prices on those? Like, why, does it have to do with like how it's calibrated and?
No,
the
they're
validity of
a
it, or-
different manufacturer.
Okay.
In fact, the one that's more expensive is the Stalker radar. And that's the one that we actually have in our patrol vehicles right now that has the front and rear radar units. That's the one we have in our car. But the handheld was what we have. Decatur is what we currently have. And I also had them at East Lansing for handheld radars, and
Okay.
I like that system better.
Okay.
So, just let you know, we'll be getting a new radar gun.
Yeah, it's great that you received that donation too.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, other than that, do you have any questions?
No questions on the report from me. You guys have any questions on the report?
Not in the report, but how did the, I assume you're out at the R&R salvage?
I was, it was hot. Things were exploding. Some of that apparently was some oil, because we had some different oil spots land on the engine. So initially it was just me there. Then the tanker showed up, and then a lot of my friends showed up that I had requested. So we went through about 38,000 gallons of water. But it started in it's like a three-sided shed where they put a vehicle up on the hoist, removed the gas tank, and when they were removing this gas tank, it fell and sparked, which caused the fire. It's kind of like what you see in the movies, but apparently it happened. So they had fire extinguishers, but they were not able to put it out. So that shed that they had that in had a ton of transmissions, 50-gallon drums of oil, gasoline, everything. And then it also caught a whole pile of tires on fire. So it was a mess. I asked Dave to, if he could send his backhoe down to help us, which they did. So that we could clear out a lot of that junk to get out of there sooner. So the call came in at 1:17, and we were out by 5:30. So we don't have an estimate on the damage, but I'm sure it's gonna be excessive. I don't know if all the parts were insured, but they didn't know when I talked to them. So, and It used to be DEQ, but they've changed their name, but I also got a call from them today that had questions about it and they had already been there to inspect them. So they're gonna work with them to, I don't know how much you can sanitize a junkyard, but they're gonna work on that. But
Thank you. All right, let's move on to other. Other, do you guys have anything under other? All right, I have one thing under other, just want to bring to your attention that we did receive a complaint this month against Chief DeCourt. So looking into that and we'll be preparing a response for that complaint. All right, anything else? I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.